Hey everyone, it's Stiles, and this is a little chat and practice that has been on my mind for a bit on the topic and the theme of transitions. So, when we practice yoga with Strala, we are considering the entire practice as one continuous moment. And we even break down the classes in waves, and we think of even before the class has already started. So, how you walk into the room, if you're the guide, how you take care of the environment, how you greet people that are walking into the room, where you put everything, how you position yourself, how you're taking care of yourself. All of these things, of course, impact the next thing as well. So I think one of the kind of mistakes or missteps that we get into with yoga is, of course, focusing on the pose as a goal and missing out on really the entire flow. And it's tricky when yoga is simply a series of poses that we often can get confused with or taught with or sort of even pushed into or convinced that the most extreme or deep or contorted version of this pose should be a goal. So I've always been interested and surrounded myself with people that are interested in staying in the process and being really curious about the process and forgetting about any goal of a fixed pose. To me, the goal of a fixed pose has always been not really a very exciting goal. It's a physical sensation, maybe, but it's simply a position of your body. And there's much more exciting things and much more experience that we can achieve when we simply focus on how we're moving, how we're feeling, and how we're behaving through all of the entire process, not just within yoga, but of course, how you move in yoga or how you move in your boxing class or in your running or whatever it is how you move and how you are in the rest of your life. So I love knowing that because it really puts a spotlight for myself to prioritize moving better and treating myself better and really working on myself, what I want to see out there in my own life and in the lives of everybody around me on my own mat. And that's not just working on poses. In fact, it has nothing to do with working on poses. It has everything to do with working on moving through everything. So transitions is a nice way to think about this, but there's also no transition to a pose when we start to focus on the transitions. The transition is simply the process of everything else that we're doing. So, when you think about your life, you may have this goal of, family or work or house or, something in your career, whatever it is. That can happen. That can be a goal. But when you only focus on that goal, you're forgetting about the process of getting there. And you're probably putting yourself in much more of a situation of pushing and forcing and struggling just so you can get that goal, really kind of shutting down and bullying yourself forward and pushing yourself in this way that you just want to get that goal. But this other way of being that is nicer on yourself in the entire process, but the catch is you'll get more than this goal if you behave and if you act and if you move this way, is being really interested in the process. Sure, having your goals is wonderful, but then forgetting about them in this way. I remember learning contemporary dance my whole life. You learn the technique really, really well, so you can forget about it and not have to think about it or concentrate on it when you're simply moving and you're simply enjoying the love of the dance or performing or whatever that is. You practice and practice and practice so you can simply let go and enjoy that process. So I think especially within our healing processes, it's not just that, okay, you do yoga and everything's going to be better in your life. Sure, you're going to get benefits even if you do yoga in a stressed out way. You're going to get some benefits of having the time that you spend on your mat not be the time you spend doing other things that may stress you out. But honestly, it may stop there unless you start to really change how you practice in this way. So I want to have a little bit of chat about transitions and making the entire process one lovely transition or wave. And I'll take you guys through a simple sequence, obviously focusing on transitions. All of the practices that we do with Strala are this way as well, but as we go through this routine, I'll chat a bit more about these transitions, and hopefully you find it a bit useful, a bit entertaining, a bit fun, and you can try them on with this routine, but also with everything else that you're practicing within yoga, and maybe it will just naturally spill over into the rest of life. So I think that's great. Okay, so we'll start here on all fours on your hands and knees. And even when you're getting into all fours, see how you're moving, how you're getting there. So not making getting into all fours, again, even a goal. So this might be an easy position for you. Hopefully you feel pretty comfortable here. But again, not making sort of staying and being here any goal. So once you get yourself in the body position here, so hands are on the ground, about under your shoulders, knees about under your hips, but these are things that in a simple position like this will get figured out pretty simply by simply bringing yourself onto your hands and knees. And then simply feeling around here. So letting yourself be soft enough so you can move, and then allow yourself to move a bit here. And we talk about breath-body connection quite a bit here, but even in this something so simple, just getting yourself to move a little bit here, soften enough so you can move, can start to get yourself into that feeling mode where you're a bit more sensitized to follow how you feel and stay in this process here. All right, when you're ready is a big part of this here, so not rushing into it. So when you feel ready, tuck your toes. Take a big inhale to lift your hips up and back. Soften your heels down toward the ground. So we're in a down dog, but again, we never really got here, and we were always moving toward this here. So thinking about moving toward the positions instead of landing in the positions here. So soften your knees and elbows. Gentle sway side to side with your hips. So again, letting this position be nice and fresh and alive. So you're not just landing in it and just waiting for it to be over and maybe spending your breaths here, allowing yourself to breathe here at a gentle sway. See how your breath moves your body here. So that's a nice one here. So big inhale, shift your hips toward one side. Easy, soften here. And then other side, big inhale, shift your hips over. Easy, soften here. So try to play with this here a bit. Let your breath start, and then your body just trails and follows your breath here, just like a little caravan. So breath starts, lifts you. Body just follows that. Tailgating. The breath can just tailgate your body a bit. All right, tuck your chin, roll out toward your plank pose here. Again, toward your plank. So you're not staying or stuck in your plank, even though you can stay here for as long as you like, soften a bit. So easy in your knees, easy in your elbows. Gentle sway side to side or softly forward and back. And lift your hips up and back toward that down dog. Again, keeping your down dog alive. Easy knees, easy elbows. Breathing, easy sway. So again, trying that one more time. Tuck your chin, round back out toward that plank pose. You can walk your hands forward or your feet back. Make sure you're always in a comfortable position. Don't suffer. No need to suffer. Get yourself in that position and then let yourself breathe here. So you should never be feeling any joint pain, any serious pain here. So getting yourself in that right body position. So keeping yourself really in your own best alignment every step of the way. That way you don't get into a pose and then have to fix or correct your alignment. You're simply adjusting and correcting your body position every single step of the way. And that way it's kind of interesting to think about. It's not really a correction as so much as staying in your own best alignment. It's a much different way of thinking about that. So to kind of see this another way, you might be in your down dog, kind of everything fired up, holding here. Doing your breath, of course, I'm exaggerating a little bit for dramatic effect. And then you might come out to your plank pose and then adjust yourself and then pull everything in and up and kind of roll your shoulders down and then kind of wait for it to be over. Oh my gosh, that's kind of a pain in the butt, right? And then who wants to stay in that? You kind of stay in it because you have this idea or you read somewhere that yoga is good for you. But if it's not fun, if it doesn't feel good and enjoyable, what's the point there? All right, again, tuck your chin around back out toward that plank pose. Again, walking yourself forward or back, finding that comfortable alignment. And again, lift up and back toward that down dog. All right, we'll come into a down dog split here, right leg up. So first, lean toward your left side. Big inhale, pull your right leg up and back. Open up your hips and shoulders. All right, we'll just try that a few more times. So what often happens in down dog split is right leg up, open. Okay, and you're hitting these endpoints here. So think of this as one big transition. So first, shift to the left. This is a whole move here to shift, take the weight out of this leg. So you can't lift a leg until you take the weight out of it. Otherwise, you're just gonna give yourself a little bit of bananas driving. All right, so lean left. So the weight's off. Big inhale, open up here. Everything opens up. Lean left as you slide the foot between your hands. Nice low lunge. All right, that's a bit of a different experience, right? Hopefully that feels better for you. All right, ease that back knee down toward the ground here. So again, we're here in this nice low lunge with the back knee down. It could be stay, open, whatever variations you want to do. Or you could take your time, and it can even be the same amount of physical time, seconds, whatever you want to call that. But if you're slowing down enough so you can soften, breathing deep enough so you can find those good places, and then responding by simply moving in toward those good places, you're going to end up doing exactly what you need to do for yourself to take the best care of yourself, which is putting your brain into that flow state that we all want. It's putting your body into that healing state that we all want from our yoga, we want from our healing practice, we want from our lives. But if we simply go through the poses, not much happens. All right, let's try that other side. Lean left, slide this front leg all the way back, down dog. All right, so left side, lean right so much. Again, this is its entire move. So the leg floats all the way, roll open your hips and shoulders, lean right, this hand can free up, and you slide the foot right on through. Nice lunge here. That's different, right, than just shooting the leg up and shooting it forward, hoping that you get there. Ease that back knee down toward the ground. So, you know, with Strala, we often talk about this myth of no pain, no gain, pushing, forcing, and struggling, and how that's bad. But of course, we all still do it to some capacity. It's, you know, sort of how this world works. I think there's two layers to, at least that I use to try to convince people to stop that. And one is, well, of course, you're going to feel better if you slow down, soften, breathe, focus on the process instead of the goal. But I think much more powerfully convincing is you're going to get more if you stay in the process instead of closing your eyes and forcing your way toward a goal. You'll get more this way. And it's confusing for a lot of people because it looks a lot softer. It is a lot softer. It may trigger sort of this idea of laziness, this idea, well, I'm not really getting anything, am I, if I'm feeling my way into it? I'm not really working hard if I'm feeling good the whole time. But, you know, that's just a giant change of psychology that you need to get more. So we can practice killing ourselves in the process of doing the things that we want to do in our life, feeling terrible about ourselves every step of the way, or we can change and find a better way. So one amazing thing is when you go through a practice like this, a practice of ease, you have the opportunity to simply experience yourself getting more this way. So if you're kicking yourself into a handstand, we'll try this one in a moment. You can, you know, get yourself in your position, set everything up, plant your hands on the ground, and then kicking. Even if you kind of come up and do your thing, you're only in one certain mode there, but you haven't felt good on the way there. So what's the point of it happening? Maybe, you know, in our day and age, a picture or, you know, the accomplishment of doing the pose. There's a lot of talk about yoga being empowering because you're able to do a physical pose with your body. I wish that wasn't the case because that's really not very beneficial when we think about all of the possibilities of the benefits of yoga. You can do so much more if you stay in the process of transitions, if you stay in the process of learning how to move really well along the way. So another approach for handstand that works, and you can try this out and get more, is crawling forward, planting your palms big, inhale to roll forward, easy back. So working with your body here, big inhale forward, and then easy back. So with this one, everything's relaxed. I'm not doing anything that I don't need to do to get into this position. I'm not showing myself that I'm working hard. I'm simply putting myself in the process of moving. So handstand is actually a hip opener this way. That's nice. Okay, so softening in the knees as I go. I'm gonna roll open my hips. Big inhale. Easy exhale, soften here. So I'm pretty relaxed. This doesn't take arm strength that you don't have. This doesn't take anything that you don't have. This simply takes a desire to learn how to move your body in a way that works for you instead of against you. So if you can rock forward and back, you can do that. And if you can do that, you can do anything. Simply learning how to move your body in the process of being really good at being you, essentially, learning how to move really well. And that's a practice of a lifetime. All of the East Asian arts have taught this and figured this out through many, many, many years. And our new society is very boom, boom, boom focused. So you will get more this way. I know that's very much the goal. And I think that's valuable. It is important to progress and get more. But also really cool is you will feel good every step of the way. Your body will heal itself. You will set up the optimal conditions for your body to do everything that it's capable of doing because you're out of the way. The stress is out of the way. You're setting yourself up for that relaxation response. All the science, everything that we can explain with science is very, very good in this process. You're setting yourself up for amazing things to happen. If you have no pain, no gain, you'll get to a certain level, but you're never going to knock off your glass ceiling of your own potential. So try that out. The secret is focusing on the process instead of a position because you are more than a position. All right, so I'll see you soon.